welcome. You sent over some really interesting stuff on AI and video marketing. It's such a fast-moving area, right? Trying to figure out what audiences want can feel like.
Yeah.
Well, guesswork a lot of the time.
It really can.
So today we're going to unpack how AI is maybe changing that whole game.
Exactly. Yeah, this deep dive is all about how AI isn't just helping, it's kind of revolutionizing video marketing. We're moving past intuition, towards actually forecasting viewer engagement in real time.
Real time. Okay.
Yeah, and optimizing content based on that. We've pulled out what we think are the most important insights from the sources you sent.
Fascinating. Okay, my first thought is how does AI actually get that predictive power? It sounds almost like fortune telling. What's it really doing differently?
Right. It does sound a bit like magic, but it's really about a different level of analysis. The key thing AI does is what's called behavioral pattern recognition. So it's not just looking at, say, view counts or clicks. It's tracking those really small things, the micro interactions, like did someone pause? Did they rewind a certain part? Where exactly did they drop off?
Ah, the tiny little signals.
Exactly. Those signals tell you precisely where a viewer might be getting lost or, where they're really hooked. So, for instance, if lots of viewers skip the first 10 seconds, the AI flags it. Suggests maybe you need a shorter intro, something punchier.
Right. Humans just can't spot that kind of thing consistently, not across thousands of viewers.
Not at scale, no. And it gets even more granular with scene-by-scene sentiment analysis.
Sentiment analysis. How does that work?
Well, using things like facial recognition data, anonymized, of course, and audio cues, AI can actually gauge the emotional response to specific scenes. It gives them sentiment scores.
Wow.
Yeah, so creators can then tweak things, maybe adjust the pacing in one scene, change the lighting in another, or even rewrite a line of dialogue to really land the emotional impact they're aiming for.
That is incredibly detailed. But okay, does this fine-tuning actually translate into better results? Or is it more theoretical? What are the numbers telling us?
Oh, it absolutely translates. The stats are pretty compelling, actually. There was a Stanford study in 2024. It found that using these AI-predicted engagement scores boosted content performance by 37% compared to just relying on human intuition.
37%. That's a huge improvement.
It's significant, yeah. It gives you a real competitive edge, and it's not just about performance.
What about costs or making something go viral?
Good questions. So a 2025 PwC report, it showed brands using AI for A/B testing, where the AI generates and tests different versions of the content. They cut production costs by half, 50%.
50% reduction.
While boosting engagement.
Exactly. They actually doubled engagement rates in that study. And a MIT technology review found that AI predictions are now hitting about 85% accuracy in identifying which content is likely to go viral. 85%. Okay. Those numbers are pretty staggering. Can we talk about some real-world examples, like who's actually doing this effectively?
Sure. Well, the classic example is probably Netflix. They use AI extensively to analyze what you watch, how you watch it, and then refine their recommendations.
Right, the recommendation engine is famous.
And it's incredibly effective. It's helped them get customer churn down to just 2.4%. That low churn rate reportedly saves them around $1 billion a year.
$1 billion. Wow. Okay, that puts it into perspective.
Yeah, and it's not just the streaming giants. We saw an example of an e-commerce brand. They used AI insights into viewer watch patterns for retargeting.
How'd that work?
Well, if a viewer spent time watching a segment about a specific product feature, the AI helped retarget them later with ads or content specifically highlighting that feature. They saw a 40% jump in conversion rates in 6 months.
40% increase just from smarter retargeting based on video engagement. Okay, so bringing this back to our listeners, what does this all mean for you? What are the key takeaways here? How can people start using this?
Great question. I think there are a few clear actions. First, definitely look into implementing real-time analytics. Use tools that let you monitor viewer interactions as they happen so you can adjust quickly.
Be responsive.
Exactly. Second, focus on that emotional engagement. Use the sentiment data, if you can get it, to really understand how your audience is feeling and tweak your content to connect better.
Makes sense. What else?
Third, optimize for multiple platforms. AI is great at helping tailor content, different aspect ratios, captions, even adjusting the tone or humor for TikTok versus YouTube versus Instagram.
So you're not just blasting the same video everywhere.
Right. And fourth, Leverage generative AI for A/B testing. It's just so much more efficient for creating and testing variations to see what really works. And maybe keep an eye on trends too, like short form video still dominating, and that growing demand for interactive content, something like 70% of consumers prefer it now, plus more AI tools like realmind.ai popping up.
It really is amazing. AI seems to be making video marketing smarter, faster, and genuinely more effective at connecting with people. It's a real force multiplier.
It absolutely is. And as AI gets better and better at predicting what we'll watch and optimizing content for engagement, it does raise an interesting question for the future, doesn't it?
What's that?
Well, how do we balance this powerful data-driven approach with, pure human creativity and artistic intuition in video making? Where does that balance lie going forward? Something to think about.